You guys know I'm losing my voice, so I can't say it like I usually do. The Chicago Bulls versus the Toronto Raptors going down today. The second to last preseason game for the Bulls. How much of the starters do we see? How much of the young players do we see? Do we continue to see the growth and evolution of the offense? Or at this point, has Billy Donovan seen enough to where he's going to be comfortable kind of just riding it out with the players and what he's seen already, and maybe take it easy? We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
I see red, I see red, I see red, I see red, yeah, I see red, I see red, I see red, I see.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central. But with that being said, it's a live stream. It's a pregame show. You guys know how we do it and hold it down for game day. By the way, channel update, we are 94 subscribers away from hitting 15K. Let's try to get there before the start of the regular season. It'll be a great thing to be able to be there. But if not, it's cool. I'm still the best in the business, so it doesn't really matter with that either way. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Highly important to me to have you guys in the building for today. For the second and last preseason game for the Chicago Bulls. We're going to see how things are coming along and see if we continue developing. So, we'll see what's going on there. We got Mac Too Much in the building. He says, hey, man, 100 go Bulls. Absolutely, bro. You already know. We here. What's going on? Let's talk Bulls. Glad to have you in the building. My little brother Shay says, what up? How you feeling? As you can hear in my voice, I'm not in any pain, so that's the good part, but my voice is shot. So we'll see how this how this shakes out. I may have to rest it for the last preseason game. I may have Steve-O kind of take over for me, maybe do the post game and all the things on the live, just so I can kind of take a break, rest the vocal cords, because the season starts, Tuesday? We're 7 days away, so the last thing I want is to not be 100% to start the season. And so right now, I'm not 100%. So, we'll see how that goes. What's going on, Brian? Glad to have you in the building. Trigger says, Bulls, what's going on, fam? Bulls daily in the building says, what up, Fonem? What's going on, fam? We going to play Derek Favors this game? Probably. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if we play Derek Favors this game, only because, listen, it's a training camp deal. It's going to go one of two ways. Billy Donovan can use this game as the tune-up, right? So then his players get an extended rest before Tuesday's start of the regular season. Or we can see the starters playing both these games, but not very much this game. So we'll end up seeing. But I do think we're going to get a lot of kind of the two-way contract and G League players here soon. You should be proud of yourself, man. I remember when you first started. I'm proud of you, my guy. Hey, thank you, Shay. I'm proud of me too, man. It's been tremendous growth, bro. I remember when I was surprised to hit 1,000 subscribers, right? That was crazy. And now we're at the point where we're 94 subscribers away from 15K. That's crazy. That's wild is what it is. And so, continue growth, continue development, man. We'd have probably 2,000 more subscribers if I didn't curse people out, but it is what it is, bro. How's your voice now, Haize? Hope you good. My voice is still shot, but guess what? It's not going to stop me. As long as I'm not in pain, it's not going to stop me. I'm not in pain at all. I sound painful, but luckily I'm not in pain at all. So there's that. Romero says, hoodie dope. Appreciate that. I got a Bears one just like it. Like, usually when they have, because sometimes Fanatics, they'll do something where it's like every city, every team in that city gets a similar design. They'll just change the logo. They'll change the logo in the year. So I have one for the Bears and the Bulls. They didn't come out with a Sox one, surprisingly enough. Robert says, just 1 week till it matters. I agree. I definitely agree. Glad to be here before JDH coming here for me. Hey, listen, he coming here blowing that stripper ass breath all over the chat, right? Y'all best stop hating my ninja. Who's hating? What do you be talking about, bro? Sup, Haize? How was your day? MCC's my day was good. Besides sounding like death itself, I'm pretty good. Over 4 rebounds for P. Will this game. I mean, we'll see, bro. We'll see. Drew says, what's up? What's going on in here? Peace, Haize. Hoping for another Julian Phillips dunk tonight. Feel better, man. I mean, I feel fine. I really do feel fine. My voice is just shot. All y'all haters best keep it 100. What are you talking about? Obi said he wants to bring more than just shooting. I mean, listen, in the EuroLeague, he had more than just shooting. I think that's going to be the one skill that gets him on the court early, but OB took players off the dribble. He wasn't like a lockdown defender by any stretch, but he was a very active defender, right? He was physical. So, like, those are things that definitely can make him a solid NBA player. We get a matchup of White versus Dick in this game. That's hilarious. Too bad Lonzo Ball isn't playing because then we can have Dick and Ball. But I was so surprised at signing him, but who knows? Listen, I mean, I wasn't surprised for what it was, right? Derek Favors talked about like 2 days ago that he was willing to go to the G League. So considering that they have a big like Adama Sanago down there who physically, as far as like measurables, is very similar to Derek Favors, not too surprised on that one. You a real one, my G, but if you keep hating, we gonna chop it up in the hood for you feel me though? Big one, the only thing that's gonna get chopped up is your soul. Don't fuck with me, bro. I know you just playing. I'm just fucking with you too. If they don't like you cursing people out, they can fuck off. Oh, exactly. That's to tell people all the time. Do you think the Bulls will re-sign DeMar during the year? I think they were waiting until the offseason to make a decision to keep their options open at the deadline. Well, I don't think signing DeMar not really changes their options at the deadline because at the deadline, you're still forced into the salary cap for this season. So here's what I'll say is that I think that if the Bulls excel, like some of us think that they can, right? And I always just give this number out. I'm not saying this exactly, but if the Bulls before the trade deadline are like 10 games above 500, I think they'll go ahead and re-sign him. If we're still kind of struggling, middle of the pack, they may look to review some things. But I think there's still the more likely scenarios that they bring DeMar back. I think is the most likely scenario. Face blue smiling, face blue smile. I hate that it doesn't actually show the emojis on here. Yo, stop hating on P. Will, my G. Real talk. I don't drink that haterade. What, bro? First of all, the fact that you type in phonics is not cool, bro. Like. It doesn't make you seem cool to sound like you haven't passed third grade elementary school. But listen, here's what I'll say to you, bro. No, you're one of my favorite people, dude. TBO, because I refuse to say your actual username on here. I love you, bro. You're really funny in the chat, and I get your whole shtick. Dick and Ball, yeah, Dick and Ball, bro. You missed opportunity for Dick and Ball. Do you think the Bulls will use Io Caruso as this team's third PG? I ask because the Bulls are cursed at point guard. I mean, they're going to play regardless, but I don't think they're going to necessarily play point guard. Now, we'll see what happens with the point guard position. Let's not wish any bad luck on anyone as far as like injuries or anything like that. What's up, Hope? All is well. Everything is well except I sound like shit. I mean, everything's good except that. I have no problem with DeMar re-signing. I mean, it really depends, right? Like, I think this, right? Like, could you look to do some other things? Yeah, but like, I think ultimately this team is succeeding, right? If P. Will, Kobe take a step up, then okay, then cool. That's what you want to bet on. If they don't and the team is struggling, you may want to keep your options open. But I think either way, keep in mind, either way, even if they were to re-sign DeMar and Patrick Williams this offseason, they could still have about $60 million in cap space in 2025. So, you know, the future projections are solid, right? I think really comes down to what the length of that contract is. But, you know, the Bulls can make another big free agent move in the summer of 2025. So I hope we see Io attack off the dribble more this game. Completely agree with you. I mean, especially if he's finishing well around the rim. Whoa, was that a pause moment? I don't know. But shout out to your work dedication, my boy. I've seen you fucked up on these episodes grinding. Hey, man, listen. There was a time, this was early, so this was the first year of The Awakened Soul. That's my other podcast. It was the first year of Chicago Bulls Central. If you guys, the OGs are the only one that remember this, but it was like November, December that year, I got sick. I got extremely sick. I lost 30 pounds in like 8 days because that's how sick I was. It was something like, between 8 and 10 days, I lost 30 pounds. I did not stop dropping episodes that time. I did not stop dropping content. So, you know what? As a matter of fact, it wasn't around October, November, because it was after we took on Locked On Bulls. So it had to be around February is when it happened. Because I remember we had just taken over Locked On Bulls, and we had been doing it for like 1 or 2 weeks, and I had to miss an episode there because I needed rest. But I never missed an episode. And I like I said, I lost like 33 pounds in like 10 days. It was crazy. So it takes a lot to keep me down. That's all I can say. Schroeder versus White about to be crazy. Billy, old point guard versus Billy's new point guard. I mean, it's preseason, so I don't know. Not that it matters much in the grand scheme of things, but did I hear it right that they cut Jackson and for Favors and the other guy signed for Camp? Well, they cut Jackson just to cut Jackson. Now, keep in mind, so here's the thing, and I'm glad that you asked that, Kyle, talking to him, because I can explain it, right? So if you get a training camp deal, it doesn't even matter if you finish out the rest of training camp. If you get a training camp deal and then you sign for that same team's G League team, right? And then you end up playing, I think it's like over 25 games in the G League, you get an extra $100,000. So them cutting Quentin Jackson, he's still going to get that extra money if they bring him to the G League team. He was never going to make the regular roster. Quentin Jackson was never going to make the roster. So what my thought process is that they saw enough from Quentin Jackson. They know they're going to bring him to the G League team. This is their opportunity to go ahead and sign 2 other players to camp deals that they're interested in and get them a little bit of extra money, right? So I think that that's what the Bulls are doing. Everybody's going to get a little bit of extra money. They're making sure everybody eats, right? Shout out if you get that reference. So that's what I think that whole process was really meant to do. What's good, Haize? First live chat of the season for me. How you feel about the uses of Vooch so far? Going to be any different this year? Well, Vooch was used good last season. I think, well, to a degree, right? I think so far this preseason, we haven't seen him play a full game, so it's kind of hard. The one thing that I want to see change about Vooch's usage is just go to him consistently over the course of the game. So I don't really think we're going to get a feel from that in preseason one way or another. But with the way that Vooch has talked, the fact that Vooch said one of the things, even in contract negotiations before he decided to resign, was he talked majorly about what his usage is. So I think we're going to see a change in that for sure. I seen a dude say on X, first of all, we actually calling it X. I'm still calling it Twitter, that the 97-98 finals were rigged against the Jazz earlier. Some people just suffer from some sort of mental illness. Oh, yeah, some people are just idiots. Like, it just there's some people you just really, really have to just not talk sports with. I think Kobe White will be good point guard. He will bring a lot of energy and defense. I mean, that is something that we now can say. At what position do you see the Bulls using the trade player exception on? We don't have a trade. We don't have a trade exception. We have the disabled player exception, and I don't necessarily think they're going to use it. To be honest with you, I don't necessarily see them doing that. Daniel says, hey, what's going on, Daniel? Glad to have you in the building. Drew is in here as well, says, I want to see Io finish. I mean, listen, all I'm going to say is that if that's your preferred porn category, you can leave that out of here, bro. That ain't got nothing to do with us. We ain't here to talk basketball. We don't need to know that you like to see dudes finishing, bro. Like that, there's no judgment, Drew. There's no judgment at all. I just want to be clear that you know there's no judgment at the fact that I'm just messing with you, Drew. I mean, yeah, Io. I like the fact that Io was not hesitant to take players off the dribble, and he didn't miss bunnies in the last game. I like that a lot. Finishing around the rim, is that a pause? Hey, that's funny. Shay in the building says, I remember when you lost 30 pounds, I was worried for. Hey, man, I remember. So when I got on an episode, and it was like after a weekend, and I probably had lost like 10 pounds over that weekend because I didn't eat. And so I got on the show, and I can't remember who. I think it was Ricky. He was so concerned that he called me. He was like, bro, what's wrong? So, like, yeah, man, listen, I remember that was wild. That was wild times. Zachary Julian Phillips got to drop 12 tonight. Let's hope so. Y'all got a new work schedule. I can finally get a chance to catch you guys. You guys, it's only me. What you mean? This is a one-man wrecking crew over here. It's just me. This is a one-man show now. Cognac Boys, I know at least C-Dub. I'm sure Steve-O, because you can't keep Steve-O from talking sports. They'll be on the post-game show tonight as well with me because, listen, I sound like I've been chewing on fucking rocks all day. Sounds like you've been eating shit. Glad you still did it for us. Thank you, brother. Hey, man, it's hard to keep me out, man. That's all I can say. Vooch is going to be a paint beast this year for sure. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Kyle talking in says, thanks for explaining the camp signings. Love chopping it up on this channel while also learning about how the contractual shit works. Appreciate the grind and hope you feel better. Haize, thank you, Kyle. Like I said, I honestly, I'm not just saying that. I feel fine. My voice is just jacked the fuck up. Like, it is what it is. Joe said, shut your cute ass up. All right, Joe. Well, Okay, I mean, hey, I'm glad I do it for you, I guess, my boy. What's good, y'all? How long you think it'll take for fans to say Derek Favors should start over Vooch? Oh, I'm sure some are already saying that, but they won't ever see him really on there. Do you think we are deeper than we've ever been with this current team? Yes, absolutely. I think so. Absolutely. Jonathan Aegis says, still frustrated and saddened that Marco was as useful as a box of tissues. I mean, a box of tissues was probably more useful, even on the basketball court, right? Because if a box of tissues gets dunked over, it's no big deal, right? Marco came to the NBA, was here for 2 years, and the only thing he had to show for it is a bunch of jerseys, a couple of million, which is not bad at all, and a bunch of posters because he just kept getting dunked on. Trigger in the building says, I watched the Raptors for a while, and Sick does not finish well. Sick does not finish well? I know what you're talking about. Patrick Williams needs to step up his game. He have a lot of talents like Kawhi Leonard. He needs to step up big time. I mean, listen, he's now the 5th option on offense. It is what it is. It's not just about scoring. He was the least scored on player in isolation last year. I do want to see him rebound the ball a little bit better, get some block shots, get some steals. But listen, for what his role is, it is what it is. It's crazy Vooch hasn't shot it. He did. He shot a 3 in the first preseason game, if I'm not mistaken. I could double check my facts on that. I think he shot 1 3-pointer in the first preseason game, but he didn't shoot any in the second preseason game, if I'm not mistaken. So he did shoot 1, but hey, it is what it is. Like Vooch said, like his 3 is supposed to be complementary to what he can do in the paint, and that's how he needs to be used. Not to say he should never shoot 3s, because he absolutely should, because he can make them, but it shouldn't be something that you expect a lot out of him. Yeah, well, he shot a 3 in both games, so he's 0 for 2 for 3-pointers in the preseason so far. So he took 3s. He just hasn't hit one. Maybe that's what you meant. The Chinese midget porn category is the best. Wow. MC Season, I know way more about you now than I ever really wanted to know about you. I'm good on that, bro. Like you did not have to tell me that. Didn't have to tell me that. Hey, bro, maybe you should pop a throat lounges. Hope you can recover. I'm fine. Like, I think it's just the thing, like, it was cold. I think that's just what it is. I'll be over it sooner rather than later. Sonogo is the new Tony Bradley. No, that's not true. He's way more skilled than Tony Bradley. Like Sonogo is way more skilled than Tony Bradley. It's that I won't even allow for that slander. Can't wait for a healthy Zach to show off. I think he's going to be more the guy this year and take more last shots. Let's hope so. I mean, he needs to step up in those big ways. He's talked about wanting to do it, so. Drummond having some butterfingers. It looked like last game. Hope he can get steady and earn more minutes this year. Let's hope and pray for that. My love to you, guy. I can't believe how you've grown. Been here from the beginning, and my wife loves your channel. Well, humble servant, I'm glad your wife loves my channel. She doesn't look at you and be like, why are you watching that crazy-ass black dude? Like, did he just say that somebody's mama sell food stamps? Like, I'm glad that she's not saying that, because, I mean, she would be within her right and very accurate if she did say that. So I'm glad that she's supportive of you watching the channel and that she enjoys it as well. What's up, Mo here? Appreciate all the hard work, brother. Looking forward to this season. It's going to be a great season this year. We're going to have a lot of fun this season. She's a diehard Bulls fan, and you make it fun with your analysis and commitment to excellence. Well, thank you, bro. I mean, I appreciate that. That's what I set out when I did this. I said I wasn't going to do it if I couldn't do it at an extremely high level, and I'm very proud of what we've built here over 2+ years. I'm extremely proud over what we've built, and I take pride in that. And like fleshing out now, the fact that we have a whole network is crazy, right? We got Chicago Bulls Central, Chicago Bears Central, Chicago Sky Central, Chicago White Sox Central, Chicago Cubs Central, Chicago Blackhawks Central. Shout out to Skokes and Joe over there who's doing that. Like we've turned into a network. We all need to grow and develop, and we got things that we need to work on. But I will say this: I'm extremely proud of what we're building here at Chi-Town Sports Central. I can't stress that enough. Extremely proud of it, and we're not done. We're not done yet. We still got tons of work to do. Let me go ahead and put up the Chi-Town Sports Central up there anyway. But we're not done, and we're going to continue working. We're going to continue grinding, and we're going to make it happen, bro. That's all I can say. We're going to make it happen. Forgot to ask if Patrick Williams won the starting job back from Julian Phillips after the next game. That's funny. My fiance has definitely stopped and said, what did he say before? I'm not even surprised with that, to be honest with you. Like, I'm not surprised. Because listen, the one thing that I've always said with this, right? And I understand I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm not Jamal, right? Shout out to Jamal over at Bull Central. Like, Jamal has a channel that is good and great for anyone of all ages, creeds, colors, and everything. And not to say that I'm not too, but like, I'm not as PC as Jamal. I'm not as pleasant as a person as Jamal. Because if you come in here saying some stupid shit, I'm going to flame you. And when the team pisses me off, I'm not going to give you no fluff analysis on, well, you know, the Chicago Bulls, you know, they didn't play as well. I'm going to say they played like absolute dog shit, right? Because that's how I talk. So, I wanted this to be real. I wanted this to feel like when you're talking sports to your friends, and you don't hold back when you're talking sports to your friends, right? If you felt like somebody played like a bitch, you're going to say, hey, man, Zach LaVine was playing like a pussy out there tonight. And so that's how I talk. I'm always going to be that. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but that's me. And so I feel like this. I always say this, and Steve-O, anybody else can relate and say that and tell them, I feel like when you're podcasting, YouTubing, whatever it is, when you're doing something creative that other people consume and watch, it's the content will get them in. So, right, like me covering the Chicago Bulls, that will get people to click on it. The things that get you guys, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, to come back, to deal with my crazy ass on live streams, to sit through this, right, to tune in, to comment, to tell other people about the show. It's because of a feeling of connection to me, to getting to actually know Haize the person. And I can't do that. I can't display that if I'm going to be PC all the time. So, listen, I'm going to curse. I'm going to go off on people. I'm going to call Billy Donovan's wife from time to time. I'm going to do those type of things because guess what? I'm a Bulls fan first. I'm a creative second, and I'm real. And that's what it boils down to. That's it. That's it. Jonathan E. just says, my wife be dying laughing when you go off. I'm sure a lot of people do because I'm crazy as hell. I'm just crazy. I've been seeing fans talk about Kevin Porter Jr. The Bulls are not signing Kevin Porter Jr. One thing about Arturas Karnisovas, and I'm not saying that he's perfect or anything like that because he's not. He's made a lot of mistakes, and it is what it is. So does every GM. But he's not going to sign somebody with that type of character concerns. It just doesn't happen. He doesn't sign people with character concerns. The biggest signing that I think that AK has made as far as a character concern was signing Tristan Thompson, knowing that most of his check was going to go to child support. I'm sure Tristan Thompson knocked up 3 people while he was in Chicago, and he was only here for 2.5 months. I'm sure he did. I'm 100% sure he did. Yeah, I found you on Locked on Bulls. Been a fan since. You got raw analysis, no filter. I respect that. I appreciate that, young Bino. That's me, bro. Locked On is the more button-up version of me, but I'm still me there. Me and Pat have really found a way to still bring us, but bring it in a way that's conducive to what Locked On wants to bring. But that's the most PC I can possibly be. That's it. That's the most that I got in me. I will never be on ESPN. I will never be on Fox Sports. I will never be on any of that because the moment they call me up and they're like, hey, tell me what you think about James Harden, I'm going to say James Harden is a lazy-ass, bearded bitch. And I'm going to get fired. So, listen, I'm going to have to make my own way here on YouTube. That's the only way that I can do it. My wife says, I like watching you because we're the same person. When Petty Roosevelt comes out, it reminds her of myself. That is hilarious. That's funny. I wouldn't mind to see Favors in a few games. Remember when Chicago was kind of high on him a few years ago? Yeah, a few years ago when he still had kneecaps. He doesn't anymore. No kneecaps. None. What are your expectations for this year, meaning record and standing wise? Haize also heading to the game now. I've said it. I think this team can get between 40 and 40, 46, 47-ish wins if everything comes together. I think they can sniff the 6th seed and sniff getting out of that play-in area, but things got to go well. They got to stay healthy. Players got to step up. We got to see steps from the young players, all that type of stuff. Respect for Haize for not being fake. That's why I always like this channel. You hold your feelings back. Respect. Hey, listen, I can't, like, that's just me. I can't hold it back. Like, I don't, whatever that barrier God puts in other people's brains where it's like, hey, you probably shouldn't say that. I don't have that. I just don't. Like, I don't. So, it is what it is. You're going to either love me or hate me. And either way, I'm going to still win. So, what's good, little bro? What's going on? My big bro, Spicy Butter in the building says, I need the Bulls to start dunking the ball. Enough with the soft-ass layups, Bulls Nation. That's funny. Definitely my favorite Bulls podcast. Your story is definitely what gave me the confidence to start. Well, hey, bro, I appreciate you for that. Like, I really do truly feel like if you have a passion for it, if anybody, I'm saying this to anybody who wants to listen, if you have a passion for something and you want a podcast, do what you're passionate about. Do what you can talk about every single day without even thought, right? Do that. You think it's easy for somebody to get up? Keep in mind, I am the only truly daily Chicago Bulls show around. I am 7 days a week. 7 days a week. We are only 2 years and a couple of months into this, and we are about to hit episode 900. I do not slow down. And you know why? Because I would be talking about the Bulls every single day, even if it was. You don't have to podcast every single day. I do it because I choose to. But whatever you can talk about every single day, meaning if somebody literally came to you and said, I need you to talk about the Mighty Ducks every single day. If you could do that, that's what you should podcast about, right? Because you have that natural passion, you have that natural inclination, you have that natural desire. I check in everything that's going on with the Chicago Bulls. Before I ever had a podcast, I don't now check the Bulls stats and check the Bulls news and check the Bulls rumors and check the Bulls articles. I don't do that because I have a podcast. I have a podcast because I did that for years before I ever thought about having this podcast. So that's what makes it easy. And that's what makes it so passionate for me. I commend you for being able to talk and be engaged with people just going through text where you don't feel like you're going through crazy talking to yourself. Listen, the thing is with me, like in podcasting by myself, even when I'm not live, I always imagine as if I'm talking like the camera. I imagine that's the audience. So like even if you notice on my daily episodes where I'm by myself, like I have a natural banter by myself because I just imagine like it's like a give and take, right? It's like a natural flow. So. Sat Making says, I don't really got anyone to talk Bulls or basketball with, so I come here. Well, we're glad that you can get that feel here, bro. 100% glad you can get that. Y'all be having them pause moments every episode. I mean, yeah, that's what it is that did to us. 7 days a week and sometimes 2 and 3 episodes. Oh, during the off season, listen, I always, like during the start of free agency, so when from the time that the Chicago Bulls season ends, right? Let's say when the season ends, whatever it ends at, I know that I have 2 or 3 weeks where I am probably going to just drop regular daily episodes. But then I start the draft coverage. I start the draft analysis. I start free agent analysis, right? I start doing all these things. And then once the draft happens, free agency opens up, I know I'm probably doing 2 episodes minimum a day. If you guys go back to from the start of free agency until about probably a month, I was consistently doing a morning episode and a night episode because it was just that much going on, and I wanted to stay on top of it. Like I said this, and I always end the episode saying this is the number 1 spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. And I feel like for you guys rocking with me, what I owe you guys is for you guys to be able to come to Chicago Bulls Central and feel like I can come here and I know I'm going to get caught up on everything going on with the Bulls. Meaning if there's a signing, if there's a rumor of a signing, if the Bulls interviewed somebody, if they worked out a player, I want you guys, especially during the offseason, because there's so much fluff with written articles during the offseason, I want to make sure that I'm bringing that content to where you guys feel like by subscribing to Haize, I know that I'm getting everything I need from the Bulls to stay on top of what this team did in the offseason. And so it makes it easy. But like I really, once I said that, when I said that and I said we are the number 1 spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, that was a standard that I knew I had to hold myself to. And I want to uplive, right? So, hopefully we're executing that well. Who keeps coming down here? Podcast game not easy. Respect Haize. Your show make me want to dust my mic off. Hey, bro, listen, do it, man. If you got the call, do it. Even in the summer, you had content, man. You got me through when it wasn't any basketball. Salute. Hey, man, I appreciate that, bro. Definitely appreciate that. Remember when we made it like 3 transactions in 2 hours? Haize was running around like that SpongeBob me, tired to say, oh, absolutely, bro. Like there was that I don't remember what the transactions were, but it absolutely, like I sat down, I was editing a video. By the time I pressed upload and then sat back down and be like, okay, cool, I got caught up on that. I would get an alert. I'm back over in the stew recording, right? So it is what it is, man. But nobody, like I said before, there are people that have more subscribers than me. There are people that will have a bigger following than me. There are people that will have more notice than me, and that's all cool, right? And that is what it is. But it is a tall order in this game to be better than Haize at Bulls coverage. Period. That you got a tall order in your life to be better than me at what I do. That just is what it is. You can be as good as me, and there are a lot of people that are great in this game, and I don't want to shit on any of them. But to be better than me, you gotta talk. I don't know if motherfuckers are mentally equipped to be better than me. Like I don't know if they're prepared to do the work that it takes to be better than what I am at covering this team, because this is my life, right? What did I say when I first started? God, family, and the Chicago Bulls, in that order, right? So it is what it is, bro. Like, I realize that, and that it could be cocky, it could be a humble brag, however you want to view it. But listen, if you think you're gonna come in here and be better than me at what I do, you better be ready to work your ass off. And but the thing is I don't feel like I'm in competition with anybody. I want to see everybody win. I'm not the type of person or creative where it's like I feel like it's competition, so I gotta shit on somebody or something like that. Nah, because it is what it is. There's more than enough for everybody to eat. Starting five was announced. We got Kobe White, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Patrick Williams, Nikola Vucevic, all starting tonight. So we got the starters out there. It's gonna be a fun game. Definitely gonna be a fun game. Bro, you literally have made it to number one, fam. Keep doing your shit. The standard is the standard. Mad respect, bro. Appreciate you. Push Forward TV. How do you feel about Javonte Green leaving to the Warriors? Well, I mean, he's basically going to be in the G League, and I think ultimately, the injury is serious. And I think that you're seeing with the way that he's been handled in free agency that teams are doubtful if he's going to be 100% ready to go this season. And so it is what it is there, man. Hope to see Pat swing through on a few live streams this year. I know he's busy with the Breeze live calls, but you two are hilarious and entertaining as fuck. Well, I mean, keep in mind, when the season starts, we haven't done it in preseason. When the season starts, I do my live post game here, and then me and Pat go live over on Locked on Bulls right after. So you'll be getting us live over there together. That's the only reason. The only reason you don't see Pat the Designer more on Chicago Bulls Central is because we have Locked on Bulls together. And not to say that it'll take away from the magic or anything there, because it won't. Me and Pat can talk sports all day long. Literally, me and Pat have the type of chemistry where you can throw 3 random topics at us, not even if it's sports related, and we can find a way to make it an entertaining show. But I don't want to take away from what Locked on Bulls is. So that's the only reason you don't see Pat the Designer here more, is because we have that to cover the Bulls. But me and Pat's chemistry are amazing, man. Man, I just hope all our 3-ball percentage can be up this year. It was not good last year, defending the 3, too. I mean, I think we shot the ball efficiently when we just didn't take enough, but I may be mistaken on that. Maybe I'm thinking about the season prior, but yeah, I definitely hope that we're going to be that. Bro, it was amazing to see the Bulls podcast people on NBC Chicago Bulls podcast. How did that come about? So Tony Gill just hit me up, and he was like, hey, can you do NBC? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Like, just let me know when. I mean, keep in mind, Tony was on this show earlier in the summer. He'll be on it again during the summer. I mean, during the season, I'll have him on. But yeah, I mean, it was just him hitting us up, and we rocked with it. We rocked it out. You hate on Inside the Chicago. No, see, notice what I said. I said content creators. Inside the Chicago Bulls is not a content creator. He's a content commentator. He doesn't even actually watch the team. Go and actually listen to some of the stuff he says once the season starts. Inside the Chicago Bulls, the reason why I don't fuck with him is simply because he uses the fact that the Chicago Bulls have a huge worldwide audience to push nonsense, bullshit. And you can tell, as somebody who is deeply ingrained in this team, he doesn't actually watch the Chicago Bulls play. He just doesn't. And that's why I don't fuck with him. Just all jokes aside. Why so serious about his injury? I tried to find out. Couldn't find out. Loved his defense and offense. He had the same injury that Lonzo Ball had. So there you go. Now, he didn't have to have the cartilage replacement part of it, but he had the same injury, bone bruise and all. So Not only did he have the meniscus tear, but he also had the bone bruise. And so though the combination of those things, that's a serious thing, and it takes a while to come back from that. Now, because he didn't have the cartilage replacement, his ability to come back is way more likely, but it does take time. And we've seen people take a year to 18 months to be able to come fully back from that. So that's what's serious about his injury. Nothing will be funnier than the Locked On episode when Pat the Designer was imitating Isaiah Thomas' brother. I met the criteria. Hey, him doing Isaiah Thomas's voice will never be old, bro. It's funny how the team's main focus has been on P. Will. Every interview has been on getting him to step up and be aggressive. Yeah. Do you and Kenny Beecham have a relationship? We do not. We do not have a relationship. Not yet. What up, Haize? Hope the family is good. Go Bulls. Thank you for that. So you know the 3-point percentages after I sent you that board ass. Well, it was funny because you sent me that, but I had already covered it early in the offseason. Like literally, if you go back and look after the Bulls signed Javon Carter and Torrey Craig, I said the exact same things you said in the text like months ago. And that I literally read your text and was like, that's how I know me and Ricky are brothers for real, because the exact same shit, bro. Exact same shit. With P. Will being the fifth option, do you think it's time to move him, and how we develop him if not? No. I mean, anybody we bring in is going to be the fifth option. Keep in mind, I think as fans of teams, we think that development has to be linear, right? It doesn't. He's the fifth option now. It doesn't mean that he always will be. It doesn't mean that they won't work opportunities for him to be out there with the bench unit to where he can be more featured, right? The thing right now with P. Will is before he can be any higher of an option, in my opinion, you have to consistently be aggressive in what your role is. We haven't seen that. Once he does that, I think P. Will's going to demand it. It's beyond weird how Billy Donovan got a secret contract and we still don't know how long, but how weird is it that he got a contract more than a year before he needed one? Who does that? The Chicago Bulls. A content commentator got me dying over here, but no cap. I started watching Inside the Chicago Bulls when he said we were going to sign a swing man. Like, I didn't know what that was. That's funny. Nice is in the building. Shout out to Nice, man. Appreciate you being in here, bro. You came in at the tail end. I'm about to end the stream, actually. But thank you guys for tuning in, man. I'm ending a little bit early. I know we usually go right up until game time, but as you can hear, the voice is starting to degrade even more. So I'm going to rest it up. We're going to be back at halftime, so make sure you guys are tuned in for that, man. I love you guys, man. See Red, go Bulls. Appreciate all you guys, and I'll see you guys at halftime.